take a photo or a series of photos of a person in high resolution so there's nothing to clean up. Run those images through high and low quality JPEG compression. Also take photos at the exact same time with a camera that's saving in JPEG format, including the same settings that were used for the bridge guy photo. Please realize that the quote-unquote photos are actually from a video recording, which are a series of images that are temporally compressed between each other and hundreds of other artifacting things that can go on, most of which can be at least cleaned up somewhat. But this does cause the quality to go low. And I'm going to be doing an evaluation on what part of the video recording this was from. Obviously, we're not being given the entire video, and there's a reason for it, and I find it very upsetting we're not being given all of it. There's a bunch of context missing. The police department doesn't give a shit about. But the basic idea here is this is not just pixelated because it was taken on a cell phone with the camera with the low res function. It's a zoom in on a very small part of it, trying to zoom in on what's important, instead of doing what would work. Unfiltered copy of the images and video and data files. Again, the police department has demonstrated by inaction that they're not going to do this. But you can do this with your own cell phone, Samsung, Galaxy, whatever you got. Doesn't matter, Apple phone, whatever. And you make a video recording. Don't even dump it to the internet. Make it high resolution and then run it through things like dumping it to YouTube, setting it to low and high res by doing the settings, and then downloading the low and high res settings, which you can do if you go to a website that will let you download the images and videos. And you can go ahead and do this experiment and see if you can decompress it. You can't. And I mean that in a very simple way. December 13th, 2017, this is one of many points where people assumed that NASA or Elon Musk or Disney Corporation would run software to decompress the imagery. If you're not aware of this, this is a meme that was promoted, at least with NASA anyway, in movies a lot. Well, we're using NASA technology that isn't available to the public. If you're not aware of this, NASA does not hide things from the public as far as the technology they use because it's a bunch of people who are militant about releasing data. They're all a bunch of open source geeks and activists. So virtually everything that you see used at NASA is dumped, unless it's overtly only used for cleaning up an image for military purposes. And in that case, it makes an image that's really garbled. Some of you may have seen them, but it provides tactical information like what kind of angle something is at, where it's pointing, where an entrance might be. Their priorities aren't to make an image clear and understandable for general public. They're trying to find out where a bullet might come from or a missile might be launched from. So they have completely different priorities. They throw out more data than you could ever imagine, and the image looks worthless, but it provides information they need. That's important. It's like looking down from high above. If you're trying to bomb a whole bunch of airplanes on tarmac, you look for shadows. And to make sure you're not being fooled by people painting shadows Wile E. Coyote style, which was really done, you make sure that the angle matches the sun. That really did happen, and it worked rather well in Europe. I mean, entire fake cities were created to hide shit. But anyway, December 13th, 2017, on the websleuths forum, 2Hope4, a user, posted that she said on Dr. Phil, a person named Anna, not identifying him any other way, thanks for the vagueness, said, "The photo of the perp is as good as it gets. NASA Disney has tried to get better." I really doubt that that's a verbatim quote. If you can find the Dr. Phil interview with Anna before December 13th, about this occurrence and find the actual soundbite, that would be the source of the assertion that NASA had anything to do with it, or Disney. What is the most likely suspect of this? It's a rumor started by a person. By the way, Dr. Phil as a show is not a valid source for information, and people who are on the show say all sorts of things. Also, we only have Anna. I'm sure that this is a very valid person, totally cromulent source, except instead of screaming at me, "Are you calling Dr. Phil or Anna a liar?" No. Because it's 2Hope4 who posted it on the websleuths forum, and unless I get a link to it, it didn't happen. And again, this person named Anna might have said this on Dr. Phil and simply been wrong. So let's nail this down really tightly. There isn't any NASA enhanced photo, quote unquote, because at the time when this was posted, they were not talking about a video yet. People were assuming this was a photo or a series of photos. In fact, I vaguely remember, and I'm obviously wrong, that the police department originally says these are photos derived from the cell phone. That's technically true, but it was an actual video recording. That's where the audio and video come from. And again, they're not releasing all of it because it would give us context. You'd be able to notice apparently that the bridge guy was 60 some odd feet away from them at the time, and that there's a bigger picture with much higher resolution that might dispel most of the memes and mythology. Again, what's going on here, and I'm going to say this one more fucking time, is the police department seems to be memeing this to get people to post crap, hoping somebody will post something that proves they know something more than they should. They're playing that game. Cops do this all the time, and I want to point out something in the blue culture of police departments. They are absolutely on the top end obsessed with manipulating people and getting them to confess to things because it takes less time than trying to do actual honest-to-God police work. Because real police work is involved in getting the guilty party to confess. That's what they're doing. I don't just watch every one of these interviews in the few days after this happened. If a case like this isn't solved quickly enough, it's only solved later on by someone coming forward or DNA evidence or something. And they've already gone through all of that DNA evidence that might be there. They're stumped. So they need someone to come forward and confess, or someone to say, yeah, my next door neighbor who just died, he's the one who did it. We'll find out about 2 days after the guy gets buried. All right? The police department isn't going to release the information because if they ever have any hope of prosecuting someone, they have to have some information that hasn't been dumped publicly, and web sleuths like all of you out there, and maybe even me, have essentially fucked it up. We've pissed in the gene pool here. We've screwed up any kind of evidence here. There isn't going to be a neutral jury that can judge anybody. You see it already. The first thing a defense attorney is going to say, look at all these people witch hunting random individuals in their neighborhood and blaming everybody for being bridge guy. There will never be a prosecution of this person unless this is completely calmed down. Because they'll have to be able to find people who've never heard of this story and have never heard, oh, that guy's guilty or that guy's guilty. There's a bunch of you out there pointing at a Boy Scout and saying, oh, it's a Boy Scout that did it for some fucking reason. Okay, because he kind of matches the description. Again, the description, which is what the drawings were based on, and there's two completely different ones, are worthless. They're generic descriptions. This is dumb. All right? Putting out the raw video would allow us to take each of the individual frames, line them up, and try to really get a derived image because the person's head isn't moving in a completely straight manner. His head moves back and forth. We might be able to get more detail that way. Nobody should be doing any of these enhancement attempts unless you have that. But anyway, I was told to look up a video today. But again, I'm going to repeat this. The meme of there being a NASA-enhanced image is bullshit unless you show me the original. So someone said, there is no specific link. It's been shared across multiple platforms. I understand that. It's just yeah. So again, I made another attempt, but someone gave me this. I was sent to evaluate a YouTube channel called Marvelous Investigates, and a video that was put up April 14th of this year that had no citation or link given to the data sources. On screen, there was a watermarked picture with the word trial over the top of it that's supposed to be a high-resolution version of the bridge guy. I don't think NASA puts out trial software versions of image enhancements. It's a trial copy of an image enhancer, which most of you probably used. I forgot the name of it. It doesn't matter. It was labeled NASA as NASA1.jpeg or something. Again, JPEG. For fucking sake. Seriously, JPEG. Okay, fine. It's mostly an altered bridge guy video pic. It's not, under any conditions, a NASA enhancement. It's labeled trial. Well, that was actually a trial copy of a viewer, an image viewer, that I got off a TV set that someone showed the real NASA image. There isn't any NASA image unless you provide a link to it. I repeat, unless you prove it, it's not real. And at this point, nobody commented today being strenuously objecting, or even yesterday. But I've seen people in other forums. It had to be NASA enhanced, and they're hiding it just like they are the flat Earth and whatever crazy shit. But the fact is that the more vehemently people refuse to admit we don't have an original copy, there is no NASA copy, or just give me the damn link, the more that gets pushed back, the more likely it is a complete fucking lie, and maybe even trolling behavior. And again, let's get back to it. The police department is essentially proactively and productively trolling people by giving them hints, but waiting for someone to spill the beans. Like someone saying in a forum, it's not that kind of hat, it's a different kind of hat, and naming the hat type. That would set off an alarm with them. I'm sure that that's what they're looking for. But the FBI, NASA, Disney, Elon Musk, whatever meme you want to invoke, none of them can enhance beyond a certain point an image, especially if you see artifacting as bad as this. And I want to point out, I could just say, if you are not, I thought of doing this, if you're not going to say that that image on the screen says trial right across the guy's head, it might have said trail, but it's trial. Trial version of some freeware or shareware software. Then it must be not a watermark, but an anomaly created by the program. Pick which one. And then I saw that kind of argument in another forum somewhere. Anyway, it was labeled NASA by just naming the file nasa.jpg. That doesn't mean anything. It's mostly an altered bridge guy video pic. Now, this happened in the 15-minute and 10-second mark and the 40-minute and 42-second mark. Somebody wasted 40 minutes of your life, and I'm not going to. A heavily altered mirror effect version of it was also used at 39.19. I use that to break copyrights. It does not present an accurate version of a person's face unless they're looking straight onto you, and what you end up with is two images. If you mirror the left side back and mirror the right side back to make two separate images, you get two images that look nothing like the individual. Because humans are asymmetrical creatures. We are not, under any conditions, mirror imaged right to left. None of these were from NASA. None were enhanced by NASA. Somebody used a trial version of the piece of software, and at least it's a bridge guy image. That's about it. Well, I saw a clearer image. No, you didn't. You saw somebody running an image or photo effect or video effect or whatever to clean it up. Yes, you can sometimes enhance multiple images of the same person taken a couple of seconds apart or even minutes apart and overlay them together and use an AI routine to figure out what their face is. Yes, that does work, but it always has an error rate to it. And again, all you have to do is take pictures of people or a video of someone and get this pixelated effect because you didn't zoom in the first place. Optical zoom, not digital. And you can run this through your routines to turn it into a JPEG image and then try to get the image cleaned up and see if it matches the person. And unless you're really squinting and trying hard to make this enhancement meme from the internet and the movies real, it won't be. You can see the NASA in the video at the 15-minute and 11th mark. You can also see a larger version around the 39-minute mark of the same video. You probably don't have to ask Marvelous, Frank Meister, or Randy G for the original file. No, I don't. I'm doing an investigation, but you have to ask me for the original image because it totally says trial version on it, and it's super secret data from NASA. I don't say they're claiming that. I didn't listen to the audio. I just wanted the data. And the data is the image. But you need to listen to 40 minutes of it and give them a page view and get drawn into. No, I don't. Well, the rationale, I don't care what they had to say because they refused to type it up into the damn descriptions of what it was. No link to the original raw file. There isn't one. No link to where they got the data from. What software were they using? Why does it say trial? None of these are going to get answered. Anyway, no specific. It's been shared across platforms. I was hoping you could find one. I haven't seen it in a long time. It did look like NASA could have done it because it was the same visual manner as the face on Mars. Look. Yeah. Pareidolia example number 2 on Wikipedia page is the NASA photo from Mars. The NASA Mars photo of the face on Mars. It wasn't a face. It was caused by the blurriness effect because they used the filter that's supposed to filter ordinary pictures of people, so it assumed it was a human face. The NASA people actually admitted that later. I criticize NASA for doing stupid shit like that all the time, by the way. I thank you all for the attempted reply, but because no one, including some really angry, nasty people from a couple of channels that aren't allowed to post anymore, no one was able to find the original source. It doesn't exist. until otherwise noted. And again, on that video and almost all of them, it's an assumption based on somebody's statements, not any images. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck.